The Okavango is a vast delta in the middle of the Kalahari Desert. Each winding channel and each dense bed of reeds contains its own world where animals struggle to survive in the endless cycle of hunting and escape. Here, lions, crocodiles, buffalo, and hippos take turns imposing their power. But among them are creatures that are not large and do not dominate, yet leave a strong mark on the ecosystem. They force predators to be cautious and force the land to recognize their presence. In the Okavango, every organism has a role, from the top predator to the smallest and most fragile. This balance between weak and strong, between predator and prey, creates the enduring vitality of one of the most unique wild ecosystems on Earth. In the wilderness of the Okavango, attention often centers on dominant predators such as lions, crocodiles, or buffalo. Yet among these hunters lives a creature without massive size and without overwhelming strength, but with extraordinary resilience. The honey badger. It is called the warrior without a crown because its power does not lie in dominance, but in a survival instinct so persistent that even enemies must be wary. On the plains of the Okavango, the honey badger appears with a compact body, about 3 feet long, walking low to the ground. This small size seems disadvantageous next to giant predators, but it allows the honey badger to move flexibly and remain unnoticed. Its greatest strength is not in size, but in relentless fighting ability, always ready to confront an enemy many times stronger. Its body is adapted for violent encounters. A double coat provides protection. The outer layer is gray, coarse, and stiff, while the inner layer is black, thick, and elastic, helping resist fangs and claws. The skin on its neck and shoulders is thick and loose, allowing the honey badger to twist its head and bite back even when pinned by an opponent. This is an advantage that many larger and stronger predators do not possess. Its second weapon is its short but muscular legs. The front claws are long, curved, and sharp, evolved to dig into termite mounds and extract underground food. In combat, these claws become lethal weapons capable of tearing the skin of an enemy. Its low body helps it evade attacks from above, while its counterattacks target vulnerable points. One of the most remarkable traits of the honey badger is its resistance to many venoms. While cobras or vipers can kill large predators with a single bite, the honey badger can survive. It sometimes collapses for a few minutes, but then recovers and continues moving. This rare ability allows it to exploit food sources that many species avoid, the most dangerous venomous snakes in Africa. However, the honey badger is not invincible. Its small size makes it vulnerable when surrounded by multiple attackers. Its energy reserves do not allow it to prolong a battle. Therefore, despite its boldness, the honey badger often avoids conflict unless necessary, choosing swift and decisive strikes that rely on surprise. In the Okavango ecosystem, where every animal must compete for food, is the cooperation between the honey badger and the greater honeyguide, an example of survival through collaboration between two very different species. The honeyguide is small and cannot access honey on its own because bee colonies are well protected and located in dangerous places. The honey badger has sharp claws and thick skin that allow it to break into fortified hives. When the honeyguide calls with its distinctive sound and circles in flight, the honey badger recognizes the signal as a guide to food. This is not a learned skill of one individual, but an instinct passed down through generations. When the honey badger reaches the hive, it uses its claws to break the wax and wood. Its main reward is the larvae, a protein-rich source of energy. The honey badger does not consume everything but leaves the honey and wax, which become food for the honeyguide. Both species gain benefits, and neither loses. This is one of the rare examples of symbiosis between a mammal and a bird in the wilds of Africa. The strength of this alliance is that it allows both species to reach a food source that would be difficult to obtain alone. The honeyguide cannot defend itself against bees, while the honey badger, without guidance, would waste time searching. Their cooperation increases success, saves energy, and reduces the risk of failure in a hazardous environment. However, this alliance has limits. The honey badger may consume most of the larvae, leaving the hive less valuable for the honeyguide. Sometimes the balance shifts, and the bird leaves with little benefit. At other times, the honey badger ignores the bird's call, especially when it is full or has found other food. For this reason, the partnership does not happen every time but depends on survival needs at the moment. In the larger ecological picture of the Okavango, this relationship shows the flexibility of adaptation strategies. Nature contains not only fierce competition, but also connections based on shared advantage. The honey badger and the honeyguide demonstrate that even in a harsh environment, cooperation can be a powerful tool for survival. This relationship also helps maintain balance in the ecosystem. Breaking hives reduces bee populations in an area and prevents them from growing unchecked, while the honeyguide gains nutrition to reproduce. Energy in nature is therefore distributed more evenly, not concentrated in one link of the chain. The alliance between the honey badger and the honeyguide is not a permanent or fixed bond, but a temporary agreement based on survival needs. This practical and simple interaction is clear evidence of the power of evolution. When the environment demands adaptation, cooperation itself can become a weapon for survival. In the Okavango ecosystem, lions stand at the top of the land-based food chain. Their group strength, large size, and hunting instincts force most other animals to avoid them. Yet in this land ruled by power, encounters reveal other ways of survival. One of the clearest examples is when the honey badger faces a lion. The honey badger is small, weighing far less than a lion. In theory, It is at a complete disadvantage in direct confrontation. The difference lies not in size, but in unique defenses and bold responses. Thick skin, loose neck, a double coat, and sharp teeth make the honey badger difficult to subdue. Even when held down, it can twist and bite into weak points of a larger attacker. In many cases, when a lion approaches, the honey badger does not run. It lowers its body, growls, and charges directly. This reaction surprises the opponent because few small species confront instead of fleeing. The clash usually lasts less than a minute. The lion may strike with force, but the honey badger immediately counters with a bite or slash. This persistence and rapid counterattack cause some lions to stop instead of continuing. The honey badger's strength in these encounters does not come from defeating the lion, but from forcing the lion to withdraw. By using sudden attack and endurance, the honey badger makes the lion reconsider whether the effort is worth the risk, since other prey are available. This is an evolutionary advantage that allows the honey badger to survive even in the most unfavorable confrontations. Yet the honey badger has limits. It cannot endure a long fight against the overwhelming strength of a pride. One lion may retreat, but multiple attackers greatly reduce the chance of survival. Direct confrontation also consumes much energy, while food in the Okavango is not always abundant. This is why the honey badger engages only when necessary and usually avoids conflict through flexible movement. In the larger ecological view, such encounters illustrate the diversity of survival strategies. The lion represents power and dominance through group force. The honey badger represents endurance and determination in a small but resilient body. Together, these species, each with its strengths and weaknesses. In the Okavango, life follows the harsh cycles of nature. When the rains return, fresh grass covers the plains and water spreads across the channels. This is the time when many species begin a new life cycle. The honey badger is no exception. Young are born during this period when food is abundant and conditions favor the learning of survival. In the first days, the cub is completely dependent on the mother for protection and guidance. It learns to follow tracks, to recognize the scent of prey, to search for insects, and to dig for food. Most importantly, it learns to defend itself against threats many times larger. From leopards to hyenas, enemies are constant. The cub gradually adapts by watching and imitating, step by step developing the skills to fight and escape. Growth occurs quickly because nature does not allow delay. In a short time, the cub must become independent, search for food on its own, and be ready to face danger. If it survives this stage, it becomes a strong individual with the skills required to live in an ecosystem where the smallest mistake can cost a life. Once mature, the honey badger shows the advantage of being an omnivore. Its ability to consume a wide range of foods allows it to survive through the harshest periods. With strong jaws, it can crush turtle shells to reach the meat inside, a resource many predators cannot access. Its endurance enables it to travel dozens of miles each day in search of food. Along the way, it takes every opportunity, digging for insects, searching small burrows, or feeding on carrion left by larger predators. This flexibility allows the honey badger to maintain energy during both the wet season and the harsh dry season when food is scarce. Beyond scavenging, it has enough speed to chase small prey or escape predators when necessary. The combination of endurance, speed, and digging ability makes it one of the most opportunistic predators in the Okavango. While many species depend on a specific food source, the honey badger can shift its diet according to conditions. The clear strength of the omnivorous strategy is increased adaptability. In a changing environment where floods, droughts, and disease can reshape food availability, specialized feeders are at a disadvantage. In contrast, the honey badger, with its varied diet, rarely faces starvation. However, this strategy also has limits. Frequent contact with different foods, including carrion or dangerous prey, exposes the honey badger to disease and injury. Its small body also keeps it under constant threat from larger predators. Therefore, even with high adaptability, the honey badger still faces survival challenges every day. In the wider landscape of the Okavango, the honey badger is proof of the power of resilience and flexibility. From the harsh life cycle of the cub to the opportunistic diet of the adult, every stage delivers the same message. Survival requires not only strength, but also the ability to use every opportunity, no matter how small. The dry season in the Okavango Delta is the harshest stage of the life cycle here. When temperatures rise, the ground cracks into large patches. The swamps that once held water now contain only thick mud and the odor of decay. The entire ecosystem faces the challenge of survival, where the scarcity of water determines the chance of life for every species. African elephants, with the advantage of spatial memory, move along ancient routes to reach the remaining water holes. This ability to navigate is one of their strengths that allows them to endure drought. However, their weakness becomes clear as water grows scarce. The distances they must travel increase, their strength declines, and the oldest individuals often collapse before reaching safety. Herbivores such as antelope, buffalo, and zebra face a dilemma. They need water to survive, but every step toward a water hole carries the risk of becoming prey. Confusion within the herd causes disorder, and many young or weak individuals separate and fall behind. Predators are quick to exploit this gap. Even lions, the top predators on land, cannot avoid hardship. When the plains are dry and prey is scarce, they lose the advantage of ambush. Without patience to wait, lions wander in search of opportunities that rarely appear. Their strength as a group declines as hunger weakens the pride. The cost of the dry season is the erosion of energy, forcing predators to face failure as well. The harsh season exposes two sides of the Okavango. On one side, it tests all species with extreme conditions, revealing weaknesses that many cannot overcome. On the other side, it highlights unique survival strategies, from the elephant's memory of routes, to the antelope's quick escape, to the lion's endurance under hunger. This contrast maintains the natural cycle, where survival requires not only strength but also adaptation. The first rains mark a turning point for the Okavango Delta. When the first drops fall, the dry ground quickly revives. Water seeps in and joins the flow from Angola, transforming cracked land into a wide network of rivers and swamps. This is the foundation that restores life and begins a new stage for the entire ecosystem. The arrival of water gives clear advantages to herbivores. Red lechwe return to the shallow floodplains. Their long legs and strong muscles allow them to move across wet ground without sinking. This is a strength that helps them avoid many predators. Yet their weakness is exposed when flooded areas also become the hunting grounds of hidden threats. Beneath the still surface, Nile crocodiles wait with complete patience. Their camouflage makes them nearly invisible. One mistake by the prey is enough for a sudden attack. For herbivores, the distance between life and death in the Okavango during the rainy season is measured in seconds. The returning rains bring life, but they also restart the cycle of struggle, where every species shows its strengths yet must reveal its weaknesses under the pressure of survival. The Okavango Delta in flood becomes a battlefield where predators and prey constantly test each other's limits. Lions, with superior strength, follow the large migrating herds. They use group coordination to overpower prey, but their weakness lies in dependence on ambush. When water spreads and the plains become wetlands, cover is harder to find and their success in hunting decreases. Close behind are hyenas, scavengers but also dangerous hunters in groups. Their strength is endurance and the ability to seize food. They do not need to kill from the beginning but only wait until others are exhausted. Their greatest weakness is dependence on leftovers, which prevents them from fully controlling the hunt. In contrast, African wild dogs choose a different strategy. With speed and coordinated movement, the pack can chase prey until it collapses. Their strength lies in synchronization, where every individual plays a role in a shared tactic. But their dependence on unity is also a weakness, because a single break in formation can cause the entire hunt to fail. The arrival of water changes the balance. Familiar routes are cut off, forcing both predators and prey to adjust strategies. This is the stage where adaptation decides everything. Those that use their advantages continue to survive, while those slow to change are eliminated from the cycle of life. The Okavango is not only a fertile land, but also a complex living system where every species plays a role in the natural cycle. Each species here is part of a larger structure that creates a delicate balance between survival and adaptation. No single species holds absolute dominance because the stability of this place depends on each group using its strengths and compensating for its weaknesses. The most remarkable feature of the Okavango is its ability to sustain hundreds of animal species in an ever-changing environment. During the dry season, only species that endure thirst and travel long distances can survive. During the floods, opportunities open for species that use the waterlogged areas. This diversity of strategies creates a dynamic landscape where adaptation is the key to survival. When floodwaters arrive from the Angolan highlands, the Okavango Delta is renewed. The abundant water erases the severe dryness of the drought and carries fertile silt that enriches the soil. This allows fresh grass to grow across the floodplains. This is the foundation that restarts the life cycle and triggers the movement of countless animals. Herbivores, including Sitatunga, quickly use this renewal. They gather at green fields where rich nutrition supports reproduction and the growth of young. Their strength lies in the ability to follow seasonal flows and to move at the right time and to the right place. But their complete dependence on grass and floodwaters is also a weakness. When floods fail, they face food shortages. Beneath the water, another cycle begins. Fish such as tilapia and catfish breed in the rising flood. Their advantage is the ability to use the nutrient-rich waters to spawn and feed their young. At the same time, they face risk as they become prey for more skilled hunters. Above the water, African fish eagles spread their wings in search of prey. With sharp eyesight, they spot fish swimming close to the surface. Their precise dives and powerful talons give them control of this aquatic resource. Alongside them, Pell's fishing owls choose a quieter strategy. They wait patiently for the right moment to seize an isolated fish. Both species show the same dependence on floods, which supply food but also create fierce competition. The role of floods in the Okavango is far greater than providing water for drinking. They are the lifeline that resets ecological balance in the dry Kalahari Desert. When water arrives, the delta transforms into a rich oasis where plants, fish, birds, and large mammals all find a chance to survive. But this abundance also brings new challenges. Every species must use its evolutionary advantage while facing the risks that floods create. The cycle of life in the Okavango is clear proof of nature's rule. No prosperity lasts forever. Only continuous adaptation ensures survival. In the network of channels and swamps of the Okavango, the presence of hippos shows not only physical strength, but also an essential ecological role. With a weight of up to 4 tons, they are not simply large mammals living in rivers. They are ecological architects that shape and maintain the rhythm of life across the delta. The hippo's uniqueness lies in its unusual evolutionary origin. Research shows that its closest relatives are not land mammals but whales and dolphins. All three share a common ancestor that lived more than 55 million years ago. While whales moved into the oceans, hippos adapted to inland rivers and swamps. Their short, strong legs allow them to walk through thick mud. Their eyes and nostrils, positioned high on the head, allow them to breathe and observe while most of their body remains underwater. In addition, their thick skin secretes a pink fluid often called blood sweat. This secretion acts as a natural sunscreen and an antibacterial agent, protecting them from strong sunlight and infection. The hippo's greatest strength is its superior adaptation to a semi-aquatic lifestyle. It can move in mud and remain submerged in water for long periods, giving it a competitive advantage that few large mammals share. However, its bulk is also a weakness. On land, its speed and agility are limited, and it is vulnerable if forced far from water. During the floods, the hippo's role as an architect becomes even clearer. As it moves with the water, it creates hippo paths through flooded grass and reeds. These trails not only ease its movement but also act as secondary channels that improve water circulation. As a result, channels are cleared, stagnant water is reduced, and ecological corridors are opened for fish, insects, and smaller species to find shelter. Every step on soft mud leaves a mark that maintains the smooth functioning of the system. In addition, the hippo's diet of aquatic plants has a strong impact on ecosystem balance. By feeding, hippos control the excessive growth of underwater vegetation. Without this natural regulation, swamps would quickly choke with plants, reducing biodiversity. Hippos keep the water and channels open, creating an environment where countless species can coexist. The hippo's strength lies in its indirect but lasting influence on the ecosystem. It does not need the speed of a predator or the complex strategies of a hunter. Instead, it quietly maintains balance across a vast landscape. Yet its dependence on water is also a limit. Any change in water levels in the Okavango can seriously affect hippos and all the species that rely on their ecological impact. In the Okavango, the hippo is not the top of the food chain, but it holds an irreplaceable role in sustaining life. Through seemingly simple actions, creating trails, improving flow, and regulating vegetation, it has become a silent architect underwater. Without display, the hippo's presence ensures that the symphony of life continues through each flood season and every cycle of rising and falling waters. Over the skies of the Okavango, the African fish eagle holds the position of an apex aerial predator, and plays a special role in the ecosystem. With a white head and chest, broad black wings, and a wingspan that can reach 8 feet, it stands out in appearance while demonstrating control of the air. While large mammals dominate the land and rivers, the fish eagle is the power above, where sight and speed are the ultimate weapons. Its greatest strength is the ability to cover a vast territory. It often builds nests from large branches high in trees along the rivers. Each nest can reach 6 feet across and can support many generations. Although the main purpose is breeding and shelter, these massive nests also provide safe refuge for smaller birds and rodents avoiding predators. This indirectly makes the fish eagle a contributor to the layered ecology of the Okavango system. The African fish eagle forms monogamous pairs that defend territories up to 25 square miles. During the breeding season, the cooperation of both parents in raising young increases the survival rate. However, their weakness is clear. Their heavy dependence on fish makes them vulnerable when water levels change or fish numbers decline due to climate shifts or human activity. In hunting, the African fish eagle is a master of speed and precision. With sharp vision, it can detect prey from more than 150 feet above the water. From this vantage point, a single careless movement of a fish is enough to trigger a dive. Its strong, curved talons can grasp even when a fish weighing over 2 pounds struggles in the water. Each strike combines muscle power, rapid descent, and patient timing. Yet this hunting method also has weaknesses. Not every dive is successful, and the energy wasted in failed attempts forces the eagle to choose the moment with extreme accuracy. Compared to other raptors with more varied diets, this specialization is both an advantage and a risk. It allows efficient use of the rich fish supply in the Okavango, but it leaves the bird exposed when conditions change. Still, its ecological role is undeniable. By controlling fish numbers, it prevents the aquatic system from becoming unbalanced. Leftover carcasses or fragments from its meals provide nutrients for scavenger birds and aquatic insects. Its presence is therefore not only symbolic, but also tied to the actual functioning of the ecosystem. The loud call of the African fish eagle over the Okavango is a reminder that power exists not only on land or in water. In the air, this bird affirms its supremacy while linking the ecological layers together. It represents the connection between sky and water, where every species, large or small, contributes to the diversity and survival cycle of this vast wetland. Lions in the Okavango hold a special place in the ecosystem as both apex predators and regulators of order on the grasslands. In the wetlands and open savannas, their presence represents collective strength and control of the food chain. Without a throne, lions still act as forces that maintain ecological stability across the delta. The most distinctive feature of lions is their social structure. A pride often contains between 10 and 15 individuals, including several adult females, dominant males, and cubs. Females are the primary hunters, coordinating to bring down prey. They use teamwork to compensate for the lack of superior speed compared to herbivores. Males play the role of territorial defenders, ensuring safety for the pride and maintaining dominance. The strength of this model lies in the clear division of roles, making lions the most efficient cooperative hunters of the grasslands. Their hunting strategy reflects patience and calculation. In the Okavango, hunts often occur during the cooler hours of the day when impala, red lechwe, or wildebeest gather near water. Lionesses usually hide in tall grass, approaching prey at close range before the pride attacks together. They focus on weak or slow individuals to increase success rates. Teamwork provides overwhelming force, but in reality, only about 1 out of 4 hunts end successfully. Their weakness lies in high energy costs and reliance on surprise. When prey remains alert, the entire pride may return empty-handed. Failure still plays an important role. It maintains balance because if lions succeeded too often, herbivore populations would collapse and the ecosystem would break down. This moderate success rate ensures sustainability in the Okavango, where predator and prey coexist. Lions also influence the ecosystem on a wider scale. By hunting buffalo, zebras, and antelope, they regulate herbivore numbers and prevent overgrazing. The remains of their kills provide essential food for hyenas, leopards, and vultures. This ensures the food chain continues across many species. The lion's strength lies in their influence far beyond what they directly consume. They are apex predators, but also keystone species that help maintain balance in the Okavango Delta. Their greatest weakness is dependence on prey concentrated near rivers and swamps. When floods retreat or prey becomes scarce, prides must travel long distances, increasing risks for cubs and weaker individuals. The roar of a lion carries for miles as a warning to intruders and as a defining sound of the Okavango ecosystem. It demonstrates that here, lions are not only hunters, but also symbols of the fragile balance between power and limitation. They are living evidence of how nature enforces its own order. The water cycle of the Okavango is the foundation that sustains the entire ecosystem. Floodwaters from the Angolan highlands bring enormous volumes of water, flowing through channels and grasslands, transforming dry land into fertile ground. Its true value lies not only in the water itself, but also in what remains after the floods recede. As the water level drops, layers of silt and nutrients stay on the surface of the delta. This becomes the base for the revival of vegetation. Seeds carried from the previous season now germinate, covering fields that were once submerged. This renewal allows plants to grow strongly and provide food for herbivores during the dry season. The strength of this cycle lies in its continuity, ensuring that no species is left behind as water conditions change. However, the retreat of water also reveals natural weaknesses. Swamps shrink, and many areas become scarce in water. Antelope, buffalo, and elephants are forced to gather around the remaining pools, increasing competition. This is also when predators such as lions, crocodiles, and hyenas gain an advantage because prey has fewer choices. The cycle therefore both nourishes and challenges every species. The small pools left in the delta play a critical role. They become gathering points for fish, frogs, migratory birds, and many insects. Even as their size shrinks, they keep the food chain connected. From small fish to raptors, all depend on these pools to survive until the next flood. This is the self-balancing mechanism that prevents the Okavango from ever drying completely. Each flood's retreat is not an end but a preparation for the next cycle. Seeds are already planted, nutrients are ready, and animals have adjusted their rhythms to adapt. The greatest strength of this system is its endless repetition, which has preserved biodiversity for thousands of years. Its weakness is fragility. Any change in water volume or climate can disrupt the entire cycle. The water cycle in the Okavango shows how nature constantly renews itself. Life is enriched, challenged, and then reborn in a closed process where land, water, and animals remain tightly linked to maintain balance. When new rains arrive from the Angolan highlands, the Okavango Delta is reborn. Water once again spreads through channels, turning the dry Kalahari into a vibrant wetland ecosystem. This marks the start of a new life cycle where every species finds its place. Fish move quickly with the currents, using the rich waters to reproduce. In the skies, migratory birds return, expanding ecological connections. On the ground, herds of antelope, buffalo, and elephants gather on the fresh grasslands and begin familiar migrations. Together, these movements form a network of interactions that maintain balance. The strength of the Okavango lies in its remarkable ability to regenerate. Each flood season restarts the system, bringing abundance for all species. But its heavy dependence on the rhythm of floods is also a weakness. Any shift in climate or water supply can destabilize the cycle. Even so, the Okavango demonstrates the enduring power of nature. The water cycle, the adaptability of animals, and the richness of biodiversity combine into one system that sustains life. This is not only the story of one delta, but also evidence that when nature is preserved, life always has the chance to return and continue.